now that Sister Wives is over, I'm going to be doing a lot more content about other reality shows, but also Sister Wife Rewatch, because we are doing a rewatch and have been for well over a year. You can join us on YouTube for it. And one of the things I've always been curious about is production. So we know, or it's been alleged that the main producer is buddies with Kody. I don't know if that's true or not, or whether that's Kody's interpretation of it. I could totally see. Like I've said before, I worked on a reality show. It was a competition reality show. And a number of the people that I worked with worked on other reality shows. Like our DP, our director of photography, one of the two that we had was worked on Bachelor as one of the camera people. But a lot of them had done this kind of work before. And what they said was, you kind of have this weird relationship with the contestants where you can't get too involved because that's not the job. The job is to make the show, but there's a certain amount of, maybe babying them is the word. Anyway, I'm getting off point. My point I want to make is, does the production really try to help them or hurt them? And I think a lot of people who say they're clearly protecting Kody. But then if you do a rewatch, do they really? Because Kody will be like, oh, I've been super fair to all of my wives. Robin isn't getting anything. The other wives did it. And then they'll cut to Janelle being like, I had a very small wedding because an additional wife should have a small wedding. And then you cut to Christine, and Christine being like, it was a very small wedding. It's inappropriate to have a big wedding. And then they cut to Robin having a whole big thing. Like, it was not hidden. It was not hidden at all. And in fact, if you go back and you do a rewatch like we're doing now, there was so much stuff that that was there, you can point at, that we didn't catch the first, or I say not everybody caught the first time through because it was so innocuous. So like one example that I saw someone mention recently was when they did the 4 Lives of Kody and they show, and you see Kody arriving late at night and leaving early in the morning, except at Robin's house, where he arrives much earlier in the day, and you see him in the morning going on a walk with her and doing this and doing that. And I think there was many people who right off the bat, even if they couldn't tell you why, just had a sinking feeling. Of course, many people could, because they had for many of us, I want to say for me, as soon as the wedding dress episode came along, I was like, they're being so sneaky. They're telling the wives one thing and then doing another. They're sneaking around behind the rest of the family to have these special things that they themselves had told us is not supposed to happen. They're a big family, like right off the bat, and then everything after that. But if you're looking for proof of stuff that later on was said, it's really easy to catch in these early episodes because they left it in. It was super obvious. And I wonder how much of that was deliberately done that way, as opposed to, this is all the footage we have, or I didn't really notice it and stuff like that. But I'm thinking it was probably pretty aware to production. And if I had my magic wish for Sister Wives, it would be a true, honest tell-all from the staff that has worked with them for decades and decades. It would obviously be also for the kids, but I don't know if we'll ever get any truth from the production, at least until the show's over. Maybe once the show's over and they're like, well, now I got to look for my next job, they'll set up a Patreon or do TikToks or whatever. They should. The money would be, if I can make the money that I make talking about the show, they could make 10 times over what I make talking about the show from the standpoint of I was a camera person for 14 of the 18 seasons, or I was the editor. They could make so much money.